Warning, the following video will contain content that is not appropriate for children. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, everyone? Welcome back for another one of my Pokemon Battle Revolution discussion battles. Alright, so let's get this started. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys, we're going to be talking about a very serious topic this time. It's going to be kind of a bit of a darker rant this time, I'm going to be honest with y'all. This is something that I really hate that I have to address. But this time, we're going to be discussing school shootings. Now, here's the deal before we get started. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have all the answers to, how to stop school shootings. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I, have the magic wand that's going to magically make all that shit disappear, Again, I don't have all the answers. I have a few suggestions that I'm going to be talking about. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have all the answers of how to solve it. However, I do know what isn't a good solution to the problem. That being banning guns. And I can tell you right now that banning guns or restricting guns, not necessarily restricting, but straight up banning guns is not going to solve the problem of school shootings, and I'm going to be talking about why. We can all agree that we all don't want school shootings to happen. I think we can all fucking agree on that, okay? Like, there are very few things that people can agree on these days, but I think we can all agree that school shootings are a bad thing, and we, want to try to figure out a way to stop school shootings. Again, I feel like that's something we can all hopefully agree on. But regardless, banning guns will not solve the problem, and that's what I'm going to be discussing today. So first, before we get into discussing why banning guns will not solve the issue of school shootings, first I'd like to give my suggestions. What we need in order to solve the problem of school shootings, in my opinion, is more security guards and better security. Bottom line. And I'm not saying like actual police officers stationed at the school. That's not what I'm saying. Because obviously in the Uvalde incident that happened a while back, that obviously the police force did nothing useful at all. What I'm talking about is private security. That's what I'm talking about. I think private security would actually do a much better job than the police, honestly, because the police get caught up in all these bureaucracies and fucking protocols and shit. Like, I'm sorry, if someone's shooting up a school, you go in there and you fucking put them down. That's the way it should fucking be, and I feel like a private security force would be better at handling that than the cops. People who don't have to follow the protocols and follow the bureaucracy bullshit. But bottom line, I think that's the way to do it, is more security guards and better security, just in general. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, especially with regards to, like, better security. Like, back in the day when I went to high school, they would let you leave campus for lunch if you were an upperclassman. They would let you leave the campus for lunch, but then obviously you had to come back, otherwise you'd get in big-ass trouble. But I was thinking about that the other day. Like, a lot of the times me and my buddies would go out to lunch, especially my junior year. One of my buddies who had this, fucking gold Chrysler van, he would take us out to lunch and stuff. He'd blast, like, the most dumbass rap music. It was fucking hilarious. Some funny shit, though. We were sitting next to, I will never forget this, too, a little bit of levity here, because, we can't be all depressing here today. I remember we were sitting at, like, a stoplight or something, and this old lady in a mail truck pulled up. This old-ass mail woman, right? And we had the windows rolled down on the van and shit. And I would usually sit shotgun, right? And my friend who was driving us, you know, he was blasting this song, Candy Shop by 50 Cent, which, as you guys know, or if you guys know, that's a very inappropriate song. And he was blasting it like super fucking loud. And there's just this little old lady in a fucking mail truck, you know, mail van, I guess you'd call it, mail truck or whatever. You know, the little things that the mailmen, you know, ride around in. She's just sitting right next to us, and obviously the windows on those things are always open or whatever. Just pulled up right next to her, blasting fucking Candy Shop by 50 Cent. And I remember just looking over at her and giving her the whole, like, sup, you know, kind of thing. It was just the funniest moment. She gave us the dirtiest fucking look. So fucking good. But yeah, anyway, back to the whole, like, general lack of security thing when it comes to, like, schools and shit. Like, literally, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, we would go to lunch, and, like, where the parking lot, like, where the student parking lot was at the school, it was quicker to get into the school by using the side door. Like, the school that I went to, I mean, it was a decent-sized school, you know. It wasn't, like, super massive, but it was decent-sized. So we would go in, like, the side door by, like, the gym, by where the gym was. And you can literally just walk right in there. There's no security, no nothing. The doors are always open. And I thought to myself the other day, I'm like, if you wanted to, you could literally leave the campus for lunch, go to your house, get a duffel bag full of assault weapons, because a lot of, like, the sports kids would use, like, duffel bags to carry all their, like, equipment and shit, so no one would think anything of it. You could literally get a duffel bag full of assault weapons, come back to the school, and literally walk right into the school with a duffel bag full of assault weapons, and no one would stop you. Because there was no security of any kind at the side doors at all. I mean, there might be a camera or something, but if a camera saw a kid carrying in a duffel bag, they wouldn't really think anything of it, probably. They would just be like, oh, okay, he's probably a sports kid, you know, carrying his equipment into class or some shit like that. They wouldn't think anything of it. Even if there was security cameras, and I'm pretty sure there were not any security cameras at that entrance either. You could literally just, like, walk into the fucking school with a duffel bag full of assault weapons, and that door was fairly close to both the gym and the cafeteria where there's a lot of people around lunchtime. You could literally murder a shit ton of people. And I thought to myself, I'm like, that's ridiculous. You could literally walk in there with a fucking duffel bag full of assault weapons and just start shooting people. And I'm like, that's fucked up. So I think what needs to happen in order to solve the problem of school shootings is better security. I think every single door or every single entrance should have a metal detector. Hands down. Either that, or if they can't cover every single entryway, they should just lock down some of the entryways. Simple as that. But I think every entranceway should have a metal detector. And yeah, it sucks, but if that's what it takes to keep kids safe, then I'd be more than okay, you know, paying a little bit extra in tax money to make it happen. Like, I'm not one for paying taxes, but there are things that tax money can go to actually help the people and protect the people, which is what tax money should fucking be spent on. Not all these politicians' bullshit pet projects, like making gender studies a thing in Afghanistan. How's that going for you? Oh, wait, the Taliban took over Afghanistan after a pointless 20-year fucking war. That's what our politicians are more fucking concerned with. Gender studies classes in fucking Afghanistan. They can spend millions to make that happen, but can't spend millions to retrofit schools with fucking metal detectors and actual security? Huh. All these politicians who claim to fucking care about you and your kids and your safety, it's all a bunch of bullshit. Let's not pull our punches here. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about your kids. No, they care about getting re-elected. That is all. A bunch of bullshit. But anyway, that is my overall thoughts on, like, what I think we should do to make, you know, prevent school shootings. Is there needs to be more security and better security. Bottom line. Here's the thing, too. With the whole narrative of, oh, well, if banning guns will save even one life, then we should do it. Okay, you want to talk about saving lives. Let's talk about saving lives. Because here's a fun statistic that none of the mainstream media outlets are going to tell you. Do you know that guns actually save a lot more lives than they take? Did you know that in the United States, and I actually looked up the statistics, by the way, and it is mind-blowing, there are a lot more defensive uses of firearms than there are homicides committed with firearms. It's like a 10-to-1 ratio. Like, it's not even close. Like, I was genuinely shocked when I looked up the actual statistics for it. Like, firearms and guns, you know, guns are used a lot more to protect people than they are used to kill people. Like, it is astonishing. So you want to talk about saving lives, all you're going to do is make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get guns and make it harder for them to use those guns in those defensive situations. And here's the low-end estimate. The low-end estimate is that guns were used defensively 1 million times in the last year. And that is the low-end estimate, by the way. Some estimates put it as high as 3 million. But I'm going for the low estimate here just to make a point. Compare that to the number of homicides that were committed with guns, it's not even close. Again, not even fucking close. Firearms are used a lot more to protect people than they are to kill people. Most of the time when it comes to criminals, most criminals out there are pussies. You flash a gun at them, they're going to be running away with shit in their pants. If you flash a gun at them. Usually they only prey upon people who are weak. Who they see as weak, who they could take advantage of and get away with it. Most criminals are fucking pussies. You flash a gun, suddenly they're fucking running. Which is the way it should be. But these people on the left, you know, who just say, oh, we should ban guns. No. Because there's going to be a lot more dead people if you ban guns. Guns are used way more to protect people than they are to kill people. Not even close. Like I said, it's like a 10-to-1 ratio. It's not even fucking close. Which, again, I was actually genuinely surprised by, because I thought the numbers would be a lot closer. But it wasn't even close. Like, guns are used far more defensively than they are offensively. Guns are used far more to protect people than to kill people. It's not even fucking close. And again, that was something that I was genuinely surprised by when I did research on the topic. Like, I was genuinely fucking surprised by that. Because again, I thought it would be the other way around, but it wasn't. Wasn't even fucking close. So these people want to talk about saving lives. Yeah, banning guns ain't gonna save lives. It's gonna fucking end lives. And I'm gonna be talking more about that later on, too. Here's the thing, too, that they don't seem to understand. Do any of you out there actually know how many guns there are in this country? So let me put things in perspective for you guys. There are about, last time I checked, about 300, probably past 330 million people in the United States. you know, because of Biden's illegal immigration. There's probably about like 300. Last time I checked, it was 328 million, but let's just say 330 million because of Biden's illegal immigration policies, because Biden's a fucking tree stump. So there are, let's just say, 330 million people who live in America. Do you know how many guns there are in America? Do you know how many guns exist within America? Just that we know about, by the way. Just guns that we know about. There could even be more. 400 million. Yes, you heard me correctly. There are 400 million guns that exist within the United States of America. So the left wants to ban guns. Okay. So what? You're just gonna magically make 400 million guns disappear? I'd pay money to see that fucking magic trick. You're telling me that you're magically going to make every single one of those guns disappear. Okay. Good fucking luck with that. I'd pay money to see that shit. I'd fucking pay money to see that shit. They're going to make 400 million guns magically disappear with the wave of a magic fucking wand. Okay. Y'all go ahead and try that and see how it goes. Yeah. Here's the other thing, too. Again, they care about saving lives. If they try to go around and take the guns of law-abiding citizens, this is a promise. There will be a resistance, the likes of which they have never fucking witnessed before. You can bet your ass on that. Because the people will not put up with that. When the government comes and knocking on their door, trying to take their guns, you can bet your ass that people are going to use those same guns to fight back. You want to start the next fucking civil war? That's how you fucking do it. You're going to end up killing a lot more people than you save. You want to go around and try to take the guns of law-abiding citizens? That is not going to fucking go well for you. That's my message to the government. You go around and you try to take people's guns, you're going to be in for a fucking world of hurt. That is a promise and a guarantee. You want to start the next civil war? That's the best fucking way to do it. You want a fucking civil war that badly? To the liberals and to the left, you want a fucking civil war that badly? You're gonna fucking get one. And you're gonna get a hell of one. They try to come for their guns, there's gonna be fucking hell to pay. It will be paid in blood. And you can bet your ass on that. Taking the guns of law-abiding citizens, that will not fucking stand. People will fight. And there will be bloodshed on a massive scale that this country has never seen before. You think 1 million people allegedly dying from COVID is bad? Try 100 million people. To the 100 million gun owners out there, not all of them will stand their ground, but enough of them will. That there will be bloodshed and death on a massive scale. Again, you think COVID is bad? You try to take people's guns. It's going to make COVID look like pussy level shit. I mean, it already is pussy level shit, let's be honest, but you try to take people's guns, there will be fucking hell to pay. Bet your ass on that. Now, here's the thing. I get it. We all want to do the right thing. We all want to protect children. But taking everyone's guns is not the answer. And not only is it not the answer, it straight up won't work. Like, I get it. Y'all just want to protect kids. I get it. But taking guns will do nothing to actually solve the problem. And you need to look no further than our past history. Back in the 1920s, there was this thing called Prohibition, where the government decided to ban the sale of alcohol. You know, you weren't allowed to drink alcohol, basically. And based on how things are nowadays, you have like big-ass liquor stores like Binny's. You know, alcohol is sold in places like Walmart, Mariano's, fucking pretty much any major retailer, 7-Eleven. You can buy alcohol at fucking 7-Eleven. So, based on how things are nowadays, how do you think that whole prohibition thing worked out for the government? Huh? How do you think that worked out for them? I'll give you a little hint. Didn't fucking work. Turns out when the government tries to outlaw shit, people find ways to circumvent the law. Because guess what? If you have the raw materials, you can make anything. If you have the raw materials, you can make alcohol. The government trying to outlaw shit historically has not fucking worked. And I know what people out there are saying, oh, multi-step, you have to go all the way back to the 1920s to find examples of that. We have a lot better technology now than we did back then to enforce laws and shit. Okay, let's go to our more recent history, shall we? That's a fair point. You know, the technology that we have now is a lot better than it was in the 1920s. I agree. 100% good point to my critics. So let's go to our recent history, shall we? Anyone ever heard of this thing called the war on drugs? Where the government has tried to get illegal drugs off the streets? You know, illegal drugs like cocaine, meth, nasty shit like that. That I agree, to a certain extent, should be somewhat outlawed or at least highly regulated. I agree to a certain extent. And again, like I said, I don't have all the answers. But the government outlawed shit like cocaine and meth. Those are illegal drugs. Heroin, shit like that. Those are illegal drugs. So let me ask you this. How good of a job has the government done at keeping illegal drugs off the streets? How good of a job have they done with that? Well, I have a little piece of anecdotal evidence for you. Again, I get it. This is anecdotal evidence. But you know what it would take for me to get my hands on some illegal drugs, for example? And this is actually a true example, too. I want to make it clear. You know what it would take for me to get my hands on some illegal drugs? One phone call. One phone call. Why? Because I know someone who knows someone. Someone that I work with knows someone. And they have literally told me that before. Literally, all you have to do is know someone who knows someone, and you can get your hands on something that was banned by the government and outlawed by the government and is not allowed by the government. That's it. One fucking phone call. Well, maybe two fucking phone calls, but that's literally all it would take to get my hands on something that was banned and outlawed by the government. Because it turns out if you have the raw fucking materials, you can make shit. Now, I want to make it clear, too, just a little disclaimer. I would never, ever, ever do any illegal drugs. I want to make it clear. I did marijuana once, but that's because it is legal in the state of Illinois. And trust me, I did it once, and I have no desire to ever touch that shit again. So, just want to make it abundantly clear. I have no desire to ever do any illegal drugs, ever. Now, granted, I'll have a drink of alcohol occasionally, but I only ever have like 1 or 2 drinks and then I'm done. You know, I don't fuck around with that shit. I'll have 1 or 2 drinks, you know, get a decent buzz going, and then I'm done. Simple as that. So, let me pose this question to you, because here's the point. If the government has done such a shitty job of keeping drugs that were banned by the government and outlawed by the government, if they're doing such a shitty job of keeping those drugs off the streets, because spoiler alert, they're not doing a good job of it. The war on drugs, yeah, they're losing that shit big time. If they can't even keep illegal drugs off the fucking streets, what do you think outlawing guns will do? Nothing! It will do literally nothing! They can't even keep fucking cocaine off the streets. They can't even keep meth off the streets. They can't even keep heroin off the streets. You think they're going to do a much better job with guns somehow? You think they're going to somehow magically start being competent at enforcing their own fucking laws? The only thing you're going to end up doing is emboldening criminals and empowering criminal organizations. You morons! Because you've done such a great job fighting the war on drugs. Yeah, all of the drugs are just magically gone off the streets, aren't they? Oh, wait, that's right. 2 phone calls. 2 goddamn phone calls for an average person like me. It's not even like I hang out with people who are like delinquents or anything, for the most part. 2 phone calls. You think that the government's going to magically somehow do a much better job with guns than they did with drugs? Really? Because guess what? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Same thing with drugs is the same thing with guns. If you have the fucking raw materials, you can make your own guns. You think these criminals aren't going to fucking do that? You think that if you enact new gun laws, all these serial criminals who consistently break the law are just going to suddenly start following the law? These criminals have been circumventing the drug laws for years. You don't think that they're going to do the same thing with guns, you morons? Yeah, maybe a gun ban would work if you morons weren't so damn incompetent. But guess what? Where there is demand, there will always be supply one way or the other. It is impossible, even with all of the modern technology, to stop it from happening. Again, the government can't even keep cocaine, heroin, and meth off the streets. You think they're going to do a better job with guns? You think that banning guns and outlawing guns is the answer? Then clearly you have not been paying attention. Yes, it will make it a little bit harder for people to get their hands on guns, but not that much harder. Hell, people are saying, oh, well, we should enact background checks for people who go to buy guns. Guess what? There already are background checks. And now here's the thing. Like the situation that happened in the Uvalde shooting, the shooter who purchased his guns did actually pass a background check. And now here's the thing where I think we could find some common ground. Again, like I said, I don't have all the answers or specifics because I don't know every specific. But I do think that we can talk about maybe altering the FBI background check process. Like there needs to be some kind of better checks put in place if that person was able to somehow purchase firearms and pass a background check. Yes, I believe that there needs to be some discussion about possibly changing the methods of how people are, how they conduct the background checks. There needs to be some kind of discussion about that. That I'm totally down for. 100%. That, I feel like, is a common sense thing to do. I think maybe, too, if someone is under the age of 21, maybe they need to be, with a parent or something when they go to purchase a firearm or something like that. I feel like that is some kind of, common sense thing that we can agree with. And I'm going to be honest. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to sit here and fucking pretend like I do. But again, just like the war on drugs, banning guns will do nothing to will do nothing to solve the mass shooting problem and the school shooting problem. It will do nothing to solve that, because guess what? Where there is a will, there is a way. And that works for both what people consider to be good guys and bad guys. Again, I don't really like to use the terms good and bad because I feel like those terms are a bit subjective, but still. If someone really wants to shoot up a school, if there's some psychopath out there who really wants to shoot up a school, if they can't get a gun from a gun store legally and they can't pass a background check, who are they going to turn to? Criminals. And if you ban guns from gun stores, all you're going to do is embolden criminals. Because again, if they can't even keep cocaine, meth, and heroin off the streets, all of which are illegal last time I checked, if the government can't even manage to keep all that shit off the streets, why do you think they're going to do a better job with guns? You think the government's going to suddenly start being more competent somehow? I'm sorry, but if you believe that banning guns is the solution to the problem, you are not fucking paying attention. And have not been paying attention for the last 20 years. It's not the answer. All you're going to do is make it harder for law-abiding citizens to protect themselves from evil people. And you're going to embolden criminals. You ever want to see what leftist policies in action look like? Look no further than what were once the great cities of Chicago, New York, San Francisco, basically anywhere in California. That's what liberal policies will do to you. They don't fucking work. I'm not saying that these people aren't, are evil necessarily or trying to make the world a worse place. They're just incredibly misguided. Look, no one wants school shootings to happen. We all want our kids to be protected. That is a fact. But banning guns will do nothing to solve the actual problem that needs to be solved. Like, maybe instead of looking at, banning all guns, why don't we look at the fact that most of the mass shooters in the past 10 years have grown up fatherless. There's only like one or two, I think, that have actually grown up with an actual father in the house. From what I remember. I'm talking about like major mass shootings, by the way, like more than 10 people. Out of pretty much all of them, they grew up fatherless. Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should talk about mental health. Those are the things that we should be discussing. Maybe we should discuss making security better at schools, investing in our school security. That's something I think we should talk about. And again, I don't have all the exact specific answers to solve the problem. But what I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt is that banning guns will do nothing, and I mean nothing, to solve the problem of school shootings and mass shootings. It will do absolutely nothing to solve that problem. And I get it. Again, I don't think that all these, liberal people out there are evil necessarily. They just don't understand the bigger picture. They just think that, oh, guns are evil. Here's the thing, too. Guns are not inherently evil. Guns are not the ones growing legs and walking around shooting people. It takes a person to pick up that gun and pull the trigger. Guns don't shoot themselves. A gun is a tool that can be used for great evil or great good. Why do you think we're sending $40 billion to Ukraine to buy guns and weapons? Why? So that those people can protect themselves and their families and the people that they love. Do not tell me that guns are purely evil. Guns are not evil. People are evil. It's the people that pull the trigger that are either evil or good. And again, like I said, I don't usually like to use the terms good and evil because those are subjective, but still, I'm trying to make a point here. What matters is not the gun itself. The gun is a mere tool. A gun is fucking useless until someone picks it up and decides to pull the trigger. By that, by using that logic that guns are inherently evil, does that mean that every single time that someone dies in a drunk driving accident, does that mean that the car was evil? The car is a tool used for getting people to places efficiently. Well, somewhat efficiently anyway. But does that make the car inherently evil because someone decided to drink a bunch of alcohol and go out driving and then crashed and killed an innocent person? Does that make the car evil, or does that make the person evil? Because in my opinion, that makes the person evil. Again, a car, just like a gun, is a tool. It is useless until someone decides to use it, either to commit an act of atrocity or in an act of bravery and justice, like the person who shot the Uvalde school shooter. Let's keep that in mind, too. Every school shooting has been ended by a person with a gun. And yeah, it's a bit of twisted irony. Sure. But it's the truth. People forget, guns are not evil. Guns can be used to do a lot of good. It's not all bad. Guns can be used to commit acts of atrocity, but guns can be used to save people's lives. That is a fact. Let's not forget that. But bottom line, guys, I know we all want what's best for our kids out there. But the bottom line is that banning guns is never the answer. It never is. It solves nothing and will do nothing to solve any problems. As much as we all wish that it was that easy, that's the easy way out, is just, oh, let's ban guns. But I'm sorry, this particular issue is not that simple. And I do not believe in overcomplicating simple things, but this is not a simple issue. Let's not pretend like a simple solution like banning all guns is going to solve the problem, because it won't. This is a difficult problem. And again, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I don't. All I can tell you is that banning guns is not the answer. Again, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that for damn sure. All right. Well, either way, guys, that's all I have to say on that. I know it was a bit of a longer one, bit of a darker topic, so hopefully we can have some more fun towards the end of the recording session today, hopefully. And, yeah, because I don't like being all doom and gloom, even though this is an incredibly dumb time to be alive, and everything's fucking stupid these days. But, I still like to have some fun with it, or at least try, So, yeah. All right, well, either way, guys, that is going to be it for this one, so stay tuned for the next one of my Pokemon Battle Revolution discussion battles coming up next, and until then, peace out.